The thing is, quote unquote, they threw a whole entire unnatural bomb on top of Hiroshima. You're talking about the same ones that throw unnatural chemicals on top of you every year. They've literally drugged numerous humanoid species, even their own, every year to the point that they don't even see what's really going on. What's really going on is that a portion of the parasites are distracting you while also inducing you into a quote unquote psychosis, inducing you into not seeing how they throw these corrupt chemicals into you. Then your body develops cancer, then develops all this stuff that then they profit off of, and they like that's dirty. That's a dirty, corrupt business model scheme. That's a fact. These fireworks, you throw them up into the air, and all those unnatural metals come back down, and not only impacts developing souls, bro, it messes with your mental development. Like, what other way is there to really say it? Whole entire righteous, good-hearted doctors have spoken truth on it. It messes with fetuses. If a woman is pregnant with a fetus, that definitely affects the fetus. Not only does it scare the baby, but those unnatural metals will lead to mental problems, mental disabilities, all that other stuff. And yet, nobody questions who are the ones using genetic manipulation to mess with the development of developing souls, to mess with brief planetary body. Like, you don't question that. The same genocidal parasites that you can obviously see their trash, corrupt chain of command that's to now get factually checked and legally eradicated, legally sieged. So this is why the Promise to Resolve book is so important. And if you stand for righteousness and you genuinely want to help push this further, buy it. It's not that expensive. Ask. It's coming out soon. And it has definitely, you're going to get your money worth and even more. 500 to 700 pages with sources, and it gives you a higher perspective, world psychology. We're going through all the events. We got tons of cases that have piled up of millions of souls who've left their lessons for you to observe. That means you're getting the introspective, especially of the last 10,000 years. You're getting valuable information from righteous, credible, good-hearted, co-creative souls who've been in all fields, who've been in trash, corrupt business model scheme fields, who already went through that whole entire quote-unquote college business model scheme. Because how is it that you're going to a quote-unquote college being controlled by the pedal, saying, worshipping, spell-casting, energetic parasites that obviously are only going to give you enough information for you to make crumbs? For you to make crumbs. Let's say it one more time. For you to make crumbs off of the misery of developing souls. But you're not stopping the misery, though. Are you stopping the misery? So if the misery still exists, then what goes around comes around. Because then when you have a son, when you retire after 20 years of doing practically nothing, you don't know how your finances are going to be. You know why? Because the world's still going to be shit. You know why? And then you know what happens when the world is still shit? Somebody can come in and destroy you. Somebody will have an unstable mind state. And you know why they're going to have an unstable mind state? Because there's still corrupt parasites out there. And the corrupt parasites are the pedal, saying, worshipping, spell casting, energetic parasites that make dirty money off of throwing toxic thought forms all over as much as possible to make vulnerable souls take horrible lifestyles that then goes and destroys you eventually. So if you, the listener, cannot see and you cannot use your critical thinking to see how everything, the interconnection was really, like, if you can't see the genocidal institutional liars, you don't see what is to be abolished, then you gotta get out the way because you're useless. If you're going into a field, it's to expand it. If you go through like 8 years of a field and you get to that top, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to observe. If it's BS, you abolish it. If it's a field that you can fix, then you reform.
If that cannot be done, then the trash field gets eradicated legally, gets legally eradicated. If it's too messed up, too corrupt, then you have to legally eradicate the field. And then you have to create a new field with the help of the righteous collective public eye. And then you expand the new field. And the point is, you are abolishing, defunding, and boycotting and starving those corrupt pedo, Satan worshipping, spell casting, energetic parasites. And that means that you start migrating off of these social media platforms, trying to censor and doing all this extra nonsense, trying to make dirty money. And when you hear that, obviously you know which platforms we gotta move the fuck off of. You know which platforms we gotta move off of. It's blatantly in your face. You already know who are the pedo, Satan worshipping, spell casting, energetic parasites that ought to all now be factually checked, legally eradicated, legally sieged, starting in the U.S. melting pot, in this planet, in this age of Aquarius. And so, you the listener, you have to take the necessary steps into moving towards what? Becoming your righteous, powerful, responsible co-creator self, so you can effectively protect your direct space in this age of Aquarius. It starts with sharing this valuable information and expanding it. This video talk was made to get your thoughts going and for you to ask for the course lessons. Try to get the book because you're going to be able to expand on the information that's provided in that book. You know, one has not done all that research and giving a nudge to righteous co-creators. If you can't afford to buy thousands of books that cost from $50 to $700, guess what? You're going to get all that information there, and you're going to at least know where to look and gradually build your library, etc. with a nudge that's going to help you move towards what? Guiding yourself effectively so you can become what? Your higher self in this age of Aquarius.